Dum, 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 dum. Yeah. Ding, dum, dum.
Shh. Can we talk about noise for a minute? Like the constant, incessant sounds that are coming our way. The fact that it's incredibly difficult to find silence in your life ever. And can you even deal with silence? And do you want to deal with silence? Like, is that something that is no longer a part of our lifestyle? That just sounds weird to say that, but do you even want silence, like that kind of peace? You know, do you need to just like turn YouTube on or TikTok or whatever, like constantly? Do you have the TV on in the background when you're taking a shower in the morning or getting prepared or eating breakfast, or can you sit quietly with yourself and your own thoughts and just think about what you have to do for the day, what you want to do, what goals you might have, how you feel, you want to call somebody, you haven't seen a friend in a while? Can you even do that without noise going on in the background? Social media has created this constant noise in our lives. It never stops. It's like the metaphorical timeline. You know, it's like posting something on Facebook or Instagram, and then it just starts rolling down the timeline, but things just keep coming. It's a lot like life, actually. It's a lot like life, because I always tell people that the most beautiful thing and the most brutal thing about life simultaneously is the fact that it never stops, no matter what. Like when you lose somebody close to you, somebody dies in your life, your mother, your sister, your daughter, your father, your brother, your best friend, whatever, your favorite football player, some icon, Michael Jackson, Prince. Like when somebody dies, somebody 5 minutes later is thinking about whether to get pepperoni or sausage on their pizza, or should we take the A train or the 1 train? You know, are we going to get off at West 4th Street, or we're going to go to 8th Avenue? Like, it's like it never stops. Life never stops. And that's just reality. That's not a good thing or a bad thing. That is the nature of life. But I also think the nature of us is that we are supposed to be able to sit with ourselves in silence. I think it's important to be able to organize your thoughts, to keep your brain in order, you know, to keep your mind, body, spirit triangle balanced. I think that, you know, I guess that's just my opinion. But this constant noise, I think it just gets in the way. And then we've become a society of 7 minutes is a long piece of art now, you know? It's more like 7 seconds, you know? And 7 seconds is even long for a lot of people. People want like 3-4 seconds, boom, get me to the next one. 7 minutes is like unheard of. I have solo plays that are 2.5 hours long. Can you sit through that now? Would you even go to a play? Or do you watch an entire movie? Can you go to a movie theater and watch an entire movie without having the ability to turn it off and go get something to eat, or call a few people, or deal with your emails, or make some texts, or do stuff? Like, can you sit there for a focused amount of time? 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Martin Scorsese has a new movie coming out that's almost 4 hours long. It's supposed to be perhaps the most brilliant work of his career. Now that excites me. That has me like really anticipating, like I can't wait to experience that. Can you even do that? I think if you're younger than 40, it's probably really difficult to do that. I don't think you're programmed that way. I don't think you grew up that way. I don't think you even know what that means, what that feels like. So, and I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying it's an interesting thing. For me, personally, and this has nothing to do with you, but for me personally, it's not a good thing. I need silence. You know, I need that to organize myself in my own spirit, in my own body. I need silence. I need to hear myself. I need to hear my heartbeat. When I run, I never use music. I never have headphones on when I run, ever. I really want to hear myself breathing. I want to hear birds. I want to hear traffic. Depending on where I'm running, I want to hear what's going on around me, because that is the sound of life, you know. And I really love so much to go to this one place that I run very often, or even sometimes just go to walk. It's these gardens around where I live, these ecological gardens, and it's just like miles and miles of dirt trails in the woods. And it is dead silence. All you hear, you can hear bugs, like you can hear the bees. And I love it. You know, I can hear my feet touching the ground and walking on the gravel or on the dirt or on the grass. I can hear my breath. I can almost hear my heartbeat if I'm running. I can feel my circulation. I can feel my body working, and it's because it's quiet. I'm not listening to a podcast. I'm not listening to an album. I'm not listening to anything. I'm not on social media going after one thing after another, after another, after another, like constant information, which is programming your brain. Like it's like drugs. It's giving you something that you're going to need all the time, this constant input. It's just like, you know, selfies, you know. And I don't even think selfies are as big a thing as they used to be. But this constant need to look at yourself and to post pictures and post pictures. I mean, I did it for a long time, but then I just stopped. I was like, yo, this is weird. This is weird. Why am I doing this? So anyway, I was just thinking about that, like silence. Can you sit in silence? Do you need silence? Do you desire silence? You know, one amazing thing for me is to sit with somebody who I'm really connected to, who I really care about. And sometimes be in a beautiful place and just sit quietly and hardly even talk. Like we don't even need to say anything. And I'm not saying this like a love thing and, you know, romance. I'm saying just anybody who I'm kind of connected to, or anybody who maybe is on kind of an evolutionary level of desiring that kind of space, you know, that kind of vacuum of peace to just reflect inward. You know, I could be with somebody like that, you know. I don't like when somebody's talking constantly, and it never stops. And it might sound weird to people because once I get started, if you talk to me about certain issues, it's hard to get me to stop. But if you really know me, you know that I'm way into silence. I'm way into it. And that's what I love most about filmmaking. You know, like I've been in other art forms for a long time. I just got into filmmaking in the last 4 years. And it has raised my level of, what's a good word? It's raised my level of wellness, of maturity, of, you know, my thought process about my day-to-day life has changed a lot because filmmaking allows me to express myself without a word, just visually. And I can control those visuals to be disturbing, crazy, you know, mad, chaotic, or it could be silent. It could be water. It could be a bridge. It could be anything, you know, like I can express myself in ways that somebody like John Coltrane or Miles Davis have affected me in my life, where, you know, a saxophone or a trumpet, a muted trumpet can play one note and make me feel something that I can't even verbalize what it is, and no word and no words, no paragraph, no story could possibly make me feel what I feel from that one note. Now, not to say that one is more than the other, or more important than the other, or bigger or smaller, or more meaningful or less meaningful, or whatever. I'm just saying it's different. It's different. And I enjoy that kind of solitude, that kind of, you know, that kind of oneness where I can just be still for a little bit and kind of get myself together. It's helped me to grow. You know, I think filmmaking has helped me to become a better person because I listen better now. And it's made me think back on a lot of situations in my life that didn't turn out the way I wanted them to turn out, like were really kind of disappointing endings with certain people and situations, business, you know, personal, everything. You know, just, I'm not going to get specific about it, but there are a lot of things in my life that I think if I were at this kind of mentality that I'm in now, then things would have been different. I would have allowed things to happen more organically in the way they should, instead of kind of jumping on it real quick and taking control of it. And, because I've always been one to say, yo, you got to take control, you got to make shit happen. But that's not always the case. Sometimes you have to let shit happen. And I'm in that place now. And I got a long way to go, We all have a long way to go, hopefully, if we're lucky. Some of my friends, we joke now talking about how many summers you have left in your life. 20, 25, 15, 8, 30, like how many summers do you have left? And think back to a summer 20 years ago. And if it feels really that far away, and then project ahead 20 summers, and it'll kind of, put into perspective how fast that could happen. It's kind of a wake-up call. So anyway, silence. They say silence is golden. It is to me. But I wonder if people can even do that today, if they want to do that, if that's even appealing to you, It's appealing to me. I seek it out more and more because the noise is easy to find. It's everywhere. It's constant. It's like relentless. But I'm grateful that I'm a writer. I'm grateful that I'm a solo performing artist, so I get to go find a place where nobody knows where I am and just work for hours by myself, or practicing my guitar, or training, running, walking, working out by myself. One of the reasons I like doing things by myself is because there's so much noise. It's it feels like it's making me mad. And I don't mean angry mad, but mad, like crazy. Because it almost feels like 100,000 conversations at the same time. And in filmmaking, you have to take everything, you have to focus it, you have to take a problem, you have to clarify what it is, you have to make a plan to solve it, you have to get on that journey, and then hopefully you get to the end and you solve it, you get there. But the most important part is the process of getting there, the planning, the willingness to do that. And I think that requires a lot of silence and a lot of quiet. You can't figure things out. You'll lose perspective if you have too much going on all the time. And so, what does silence mean to you? What does that kind of peace sound like to you? I mean, I'm really interested in that, because I find it hard to connect with people sometimes if they don't understand that concept. And I think, it's like having something in common with people, Do you have a lot of people that you really feel like you have things in common with, or do you feel disconnected with people, even though, you might be a really sociable person and you could be around people and you could deal with pretty much anybody? I'm not like that, I get along with people, but I'm a loner because I'm seeking out somebody who understands that kind of peace. I keep using the same word. That makes me a bad writer tonight, but that's what I'm really looking for all the time. I'm looking for that kind of exchange where there's that consideration that somebody is sending you a message and you're receiving it, like really receiving it, and then you're really thinking about that and responding. Because what you're really doing, if you consider things in that way, is you're connecting, like really genuinely connecting. And that is love, and love is what the world needs, right? I don't think, personally, again, it's just my opinion, but I don't think you can have that kind of an exchange in a rapid fire kind of way. I don't think. I can't. But, I've lived longer than a lot of people who are probably watching this. So anyway, yeah, silence. I'll finish with this by saying that, the more I learn to be this way, the more I've learned to appreciate this and really allow myself to be comfortable in it without feeling the need to fill up that empty space and just let it sit there, the more productive I've become. The more I'm getting accomplished, the more good work I'm doing all the time. You know, I'm not wasting any moments. I'm not wasting any efforts. I'm not wasting anything. Everything seems to be of great value. And I used to feel like filling up that space or having that kind of space was a waste of time. But in fact, that's the most valuable time, because that time is preparing me for the chaos and the madness that is inevitable if you're an artist, a filmmaker, a creator of theater or film or music like me. You know, the chaos is coming. The madness, the craziness, the constant, messaging going back and forth with a lot of people, it's coming. So you have to kind of steel yourself to prepare for that, to be ready for it, and to be able to thrive under that kind of environment where you can kind of take a deep breath in the middle of all of it and make sense of everything that's coming your way and make something beautiful with that. That's what I think.
Can you face yourself and like what you see? Can you look in the mirror? Yeah. Do you like yourself? I've got to know. I don't see it, girl. Can you face yourself? I see you're not alone. Oh, you need the hand. You're so sad as you.